According to world data, Nigeria scored 76 points when it comes to the level of corruption in the country. Now, one of the agencies charged with the responsibility of tackling corruption and ensuring laws for offenders are followed is the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Recall that in February, there were protests from various groups calling for the sack of the chairman of EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, who was allegedly accused of gross incompetence. But the claims were dismissed by the officials of the commission. Now, a coalition of civil society organizations urge Nigerians to support the chairman to continue to fight this problem that has evaded many parts of the society. Joining us now in the studio is the convener, Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, Razaq Olokoba. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. This matter of fight against corruption, a lot of persons have called out the EFCC chair, Abdulrasheed Bawa, for not delivering on his mandate, so to speak, even though they have said they have recorded some successes and all of it. What do you think is at the heart of this fight against corruption that we are not perhaps handling as appropriately to get the result we need?
Thank you, Veronica. You know, I'm an advocate of building barricades around our institutions to protect them from incessant attacks, particularly when the enemy of that institution tries to fight back. I have defended INEC severally on your program here, and I've granted numerous interviews and organized seminars on the danger of needless attack on our institutions like INEC, now EFCC. So it's a familiar part to me that responsibility of the people of a nation is not to expect the institution to perform, but also to defend those institutions. I became very concerned about the barrages of condemnation that we give to good of police officers doing well, and particularly when we don't know that we are being incited. They bring up issues, and the officer will have gone before we realize that we have been plotted against that officer. I have been reading through the FCC's performance since it was created, going to about 20 years now, over 20 years now. And it gave me concern that why now is all the FCC, are they all bad? When Ribadu will leave, Farida will leave, when Magu will leave, then it came to Bawa again. So we put our heads together and said that no, we can't continue like this. If there are challenges that institutions have, it's our role to put them back on the path. Create support base for them. Be behind them when there's a fallback. And we know that institutions like EFCC is fighting the cabals, the so-called cabals. And you know, when you allow a particular deficiency in your country to grow and have an international dimension, the country is in for it. Corruption in Nigeria has grown and has acquired an international dimension. So don't think EFCC's enemy is only within Nigeria. It does also have an international dimension. And when that comes in, it comes with sophistication. They can go and take his picture where he's buying donut and they get his picture the other on his own and say that that's his girlfriend. That's how he spends EFCC's money. So on this note, we have to look at what he has done within the last 2 years, and we are amazed at the numbers of convictions. We are amazed that the structure she has put in place and established as a structure. We know that EFCC has been rebranded and is going to go to higher level. So as a result of that, we have come out to support him and say that if you have challenge with EFCC, let us know your challenge. Let's address the challenge. Since he has come on board, we have not seen cases of whether he has taken bribe of anybody or whether he has confiscated. In fact, he established a process for selling of properties that has been taken from. He did a proper tender.
Yes.
I don't know whether that's happened before, but that's commendable. When properties are taken from somebody, you make it public when you want to. So, and that and numerous other things are the reasons why we said that no, we can't continue to disparage our institutions like this.
But look at the optics of corruption, not only him.
Yeah.
in his own case. Twice now, the courts have said you're in contempt. Twice, I mean, the other matter is still being adjudicated.
Yeah.
Before him was Magu. There were stories, all kinds of stories of Magu. Some say Magu has now been vindicated, and some say no, they are still hang-ups about this. You see, the thing about corruption is not only that you do the things right, but the people trust that you are doing the things right. With all these stories that surrounded him, are still surrounding him, and Magu, are we supposed to believe that he's doing anything right?
That's what I'm saying, that let's remove certain premonitions about whether
How do we
How do you remove that?
No,
Because that's the first thing. When you get to the door, if there is smoke, then you want to, and you don't like this, you don't like the soup. Then you don't like, no. I came here to eat ogbono soup, not to hear this Ferrero. I'm going back. Because the smell of the Ferrero, that's the first thing. Whereas there's an ogbono soup that has been cooked before, that has been cooked
Except you don't want to go and eat at Buka. If you want to go and eat at Buka, you wear short of smell, ogbono, or four and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
What comes with fighting corruption?
But I've been told that it is ogbono that I'm coming to eat, and that is the only thing there. Then I come to hear Ferrero, I say,
that means you are not going to Buka. Let me know the
whatever the Buka is, it is the wrong Buka.
No, it's not the wrong Buka. If you are going to Buka, that's right, because they say the first impression, what hits us about the war on corruption is that it is corrupt. What comes with fighting corruption is the picture we have painted, perpetually discrediting them. And we have sat back to say that it couldn't have been all the EFCC chairmen that were bad. There's an established attempt by people,
whom?
by the people who instigate the public against them. Now, like I've said,
who are these people?
That's what we are finding out. That why must it be that all the chairman of EFCC, before you became the chairman of EFCC, integrity test, you have passed it. I hope you know that. You are not a corrupt officer. That's why you are made the EFCC staff. Then once you become the EFCC chairman, why is it that before they leave, they get discredited to this point? And that should be a concern to Nigerians. So the moment you become an EFCC chairman, you have become a criminal. That is what you want to remove from the mind of Nigerians. You must approach it. So if you should have waited for you to serve with that ogbono before you conclude that it's not what you want to serve you. Let us see what Bawa is trying to do.
When I'm allergic to the smell of a Ferrero.
Then you hit that home. Then you hit that home.
That's exactly. I won't go back now.
Then you hit that home.
Then I've cancelled you. That you are not a good maker of ogbono soup. Then I used to say that you don't keep your word.
Don't
keep your word.
Don't ascribe ogbono to this serious matter. The matter on ground is serious than ogbono soup. The water on ground is about the public's money that has been stolen. Someone is trying to retrieve it. The person who has the possession of the money has assumed that's my money already. So EFCC is trying to take me back. I will fight him with everything I have. With the assumption in his mind that he's coming to take more. I think from henceforth we must begin to approach the template to perform. It's 2 years now. And I have done my investigation. I have not had any cases. Just like the way I would remove from hand from any other person is a matter. Once I add that is involved in any kind of shady this, I will do my matter. But at this moment, the court content that I have spoken extensively about, people have spoken extensively about, I did my investigation and I discovered that there were response. The response to the contempt, people will not bring it to the public. It's only the attempt by people to say he has broken the law that people, when there were response by EFCC, where is the response in the public? And that is why I said that there's that attempt that.
Who do you blame for that?
Aren't they supposed to push that response? Aren't they supposed to push that?
The public also owes those institutions the responsibility.
No, what of the court itself? The courts that gave that judgment.
EFCC are popular.
No. Before you say it's a contempt,
yes,
the court must have gone through the process and say you have been held in, you have not responded to social things.
Court to make such judgment, and when EFCC responded legitimately through the judicial means as well, it was not in the public.
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. The court cannot say you are in contempt if they have if you have actually showed up. They won't say you are in contempt. I cannot say you are
The
here.
reason why I didn't show up. The reason why I didn't show up.
He has made it known to the public.
He has gone. Yeah, he has made it public, and it was not a popular thing. People subduing it as if that.
Are you supposed to be absent? Are you supposed to be absent?
In the first place.
In the first place, you're not supposed to be absent. It is standard practice in court and in the rule of law that if you are supposed to be in court, you're supposed to present yourself in court. You're supposed to do it. If you don't do it,
the subsisting allegation against him about contempt is still existing because there's been a response by the EFCC. And this is the kind of projection that I said we have to take. Someone is going after our stolen money. The contempt of court, of course, is just, I should have said, I don't want anybody to be against contempt of court. But there were even seminars, there were even public engagement by EFCC to the public. It was not popular. And
what is that engagement?
He engaged the public. He explained, the FCC explained
why it's
what is the contempt. It was not the contempt of court. Yes,
so the court lied?
No, court did not lie.
But so that was
EFCC's position.
It was a half lie.
No, EFCC's position. You didn't bother to look at what EFCC has responded on that. And it's your rule. Because they are being paid by taxpayers' money. And that's why I said that we need to be careful the way we join people.
Please tell me what was the response. Tell me what was the response.
I can forward it. I've read it.
Tell us.
I gave my lawyer to read for me, to interpret for me. I said that the response was fine. The legal terminals I didn't cry because I'm not a lawyer. We gave it to our lawyers. So it's just response fine. So it's fine. That's a perfect response to what is being accused Bawa of. It's on the strength of that I begin to take the matter up. If it had not been that, it won't be part of it. And that's why I'm saying that it's part of the duty of the citizen.
It's the second
to
time
do your investigation.
The second time they had this same story, the same problem with the court. This is the second time. This is the second time. It is not good fight against corruption.
I agree with you.
Because you know that contempt of court itself is also an act of corruption.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But see, my brother, you see, there are things we do about the way we manipulate our judiciary that must also frown at. When someone stole money in the rest of the world, it doesn't take this back and forth. Stolen money is stolen money. And it's either we put it in jail or we ask him to go that didn't steal our money. This back and forth with our judiciary is not a good thing for us. And that is another angle we have to look at. Once he gets sick, if he's getting sick, he will start bringing all sorts of injunction to the point that it becomes an embarrassing to EFCC to say that the chairman should come today. How many courts will he go to in Nigeria? Yes. When there are court summons in a day for about 5 courts.
He doesn't have to go himself.
He cannot. Of course, he send people to.
You guys are not people. You have a lot of votes. You have a lot of staff.
People, but what people are insisting, what people are insisting is that anytime Bawa is summoned, you must be there physically. And that is not good.
The court did not say that. The
law doesn't say that. I'm not saying about the court. I'm not saying the court. That's part of the demand of certain people. That once the Bawa is summoned, Bawa must be there physically. For us at our own level, we are not going to queue behind people who feel that EFCC is not doing well. They are doing well, and the numbers of cases that EFCC has won in the last 2 years is very impressive. Yes. The numbers of recovery is very impressive. So for us, we will not allow them to attempt to make them lose focus on what they are doing.
But how about the manner of operations?
Money. The manner of operations,
especially for when they are going after internet fraudsters and all of it. We have seen cases where people have reported that these people just break into their houses and just make arrests like that. Some people have even complained that they just come to their hotel rooms, and these people are not necessarily internet fraudsters. They are people who have come out to speak. Are you sure? How is that also going to impact Nigerians' trust for the commission?
That is part of the structure Bawa has put in place.
Breaking into people's houses?
In the last 2 years now.
To make arrests?
That kind of incident has tremendously gone down. That's one.
Has it?
Yes, has gone down, yes. And that's one. Then two is that there are established cases that the person involved is not guilty. many has happened in the past. I don't support that. But, Veronica, if someone comes to arrest you, it's our position in the civil society. Don't resist arrest. Resisting
Why
arrest.
break into the house
Veronica,
in the first place?
let me make my point. Resisting arrest, if you look at investigation we have carried out when police officers end up shooting civilians, 90% of it dragging with law enforcement agents. We are there as civil society that if you are wrongly arrested, if they break into your house illegally, we will take that officer will be brought to book. And the current EFCC has also made it a point that any EFCC officer that has done something that in the picture of what you have described has been brought to book severally. So for me, I watched a video of an ex-governor that just had to climb his roof to be able to arrest him. And he has been invited more than 10 times. 1, 2. He has been served noticed. They are where he's at home. Anywhere in the world.
So they had to climb his roof.
Yes, anywhere in the world, police use, law enforcement use all sort of measure to come after you if you resist arrest. So let's begin to give proper education to our people that if you arrest, last month officer has the more punishment you are going to get from the court. So for us, if an EFCC officer comes to your house, follow him. That's not the end of the world. If you are wrongly arrested, because there might be mistake of identity at times when they are going for you are tracking you're tracking your telephone. The hotel they are going to is hotel A, they enter hotel B. It happens in enforcement at times. And when that happens, the need to is to apologize and give necessary compensation. But when it's done deliberately, I'm not having support of it. So, and that's the kind of narrative they give the public. EFCC, they will just come to your house. They will not complete the story by saying that, no, I was not the person they are coming for. They actually come. So, we won't join the barrage of Nigerian or citizens that form or that EFCC is bad and they cannot conduct good election. The police are. And if you don't stop it, this is how it gathers. This kind of impression gathers and become a boss and turn to another instance. We won't want that to happen again. And that's why we are set out to continue to educate Nigerians that these institutions are not brought up. Why must our name be recurring on the list of corrupt countries in the world every time? It should be a concern to us. We have 3 kills anywhere you go in the world. The citizens of that country, other countries, and Nigeria, they are not there because it's because of this news about corruption. News about Nigerians are coming to our country to defraud us. News that Nigeria is coming to do something, infect our system with their waste in Nigeria. And it is time for us to join ICPC. All agencies that set up what bad the government has done all the time. It is a responsible activity when you begin to point out that, this is doing.
Some people have said this idea of setting up ICPC and EFCC. That's not how to fight corruption. You fight corruption holistically. You don't create a corruption cop or a corruption czar in a society where every part of the society has corruption. You have to do corruption. You have to fight corruption by instilling values rather than forcing virtue. That is, you can't coerce virtue. You instill values. But we are trying to coerce. We are trying to coerce.
Are you talking about the society or are you talking about EFCC?
EFCC.
The role of EFCC.
EFCC is trying to enforce. They are trying to enforce virtue rather than the government instill. No, let me finish. Okay. Rather than the government instill values, they are trying to enforce virtue. And virtue is just like mercy. Like Shakespeare said about mercy. He said, the quality of mercy is not strained. It dropped like the gentle rain upon the place beneath. In other words, it is like rain. Rain will come down, not the one that the Babalawo will go and throw down and force the rain.
No, there are stages
to enforce it. Hold on. When the rain falls gently, that is how let people move into virtue. Rather than you force them into it. Like a child, you want to make a child respect you. You want to force it to respect you. The child will never respect you.
There are stages to moral issues. The first stage is persuasion. You persuade, this is supposed to, you don't do that. orientation. When it doesn't work, you have to enforce.
Have we done the persuasion?
That is what.
We have not done the persuasion yet.
It must go simultaneously.
No, but we have not even done the persuasion.
There are citizens that persuasion does not work with.
The persuasion,
that's enforcement that works with.
For most of us.
And that is a universal standard all over the world.
Wait, for most of us, you have
when you persuade,
hold on, let me explain my point.
Don't pickpocket again.
Hold on, let me pick my point. In other societies, they have a rule of law. Everybody has his own role to play in it.
Yeah.
There is enforcement of that rule. But what you do here is that you go to one particular place, you break the rule, you are carrying a big truck, you are not supposed to take past one route, and then somebody stops you, the policeman stops you, I say, oh guy, you're not supposed to pass this road. And I say, sorry, I know now. I say, oh guy, country hard, okay, no problem. He took care of him, and he goes. That is not the way to go. It is when you get there, and then you're supposed to say, this is what the law says, and this is it. The next person won't make that mistake of saying that, oh, I know that the policeman, I can always take care of him and pass this road. That is how to do it. There has to be law, and then there has to be order. But what we have is that we have law, and we have disorder. So when you create EFCC, you are trying. It's like a cloth that has all kinds of. You are just patching here. When you patch here, the other one go tear. That's what happened.
That was the impression we had when ASMA was created. That you can always. But the fear of EFCC, last month today by road users, is a meaning of wisdom for every driver on the road. In Lagos, it's not like that. In other states, people who are playing the role ASMA is playing in other states. You can only. When it comes to Lagos, you know that out of 10 LASMA officers, at least 7 will do their duty. 3 might misbehave, but the remaining 7 must also do their duty. And that's the case with the EFCC too. We used to think the way the description we gave when EFCC came on board. In fact, on television, regularly, I condemn Abdulrasheed for bringing EFCC up. Only for us to discover that there must be devolution of power.
Some of the last
there must be a special.
One of the suggestions.
Can I make this point, sir?
Go ahead.
That there must be a concerted effort because corruption has become an institution in Nigeria. So if you don't create an institution specifically to address it, you might not be fighting it and get the adequate answer that you wanted. And that was why we began to advocate in support of EFCC and ICPC. Our name kept appearing day in, day out. And we are climbing the ladder. Our position is getting almost to the 4th most corrupt nation in the world. That should be a concern. We don't require a special agency for that. We do require a special agency because it's technical and it's scientific, particularly with internet fraud.
We have to leave the
There's a course in even university today that specifically addresses corruption.
Our time is up. Razaq Olokoba, Convener, Coalition of Civil Society Organizations.
We have not moved higher from our
Thank you
stage.
for your time. We need to take a break now. When we return, we'll bring you the news up.